Thanks, Gretch. Political correctness may be stripping our schools of Christmas entirely. This year, the ACLU is sending letters to school boards in Tennessee, reminding them to turn the holiday into a winter solstice celebration, not Christmas, winter solstice. So should schools be forced to remove all traces of Christmas? Joining us right now to discuss this is Robert Knight, Senior Fellow at the American Civil Rights Union. He's down in D.C. Good morning to you, Robert.
Good morning, Steve.
Okay, so the ACLU out in Tennessee sent out these letters to all of the superintendents, and essentially we're going to post up on the screen what the message was, and it said essentially, the letter reminded school officials that holiday celebrations focusing primarily on one religious holiday amount to a school's unconstitutional endorsement of religion. Okay, so what are they saying there?
Well, first, they're inaccurate. The Supreme Court in 1984 said that schools could celebrate Christmas as long as they had some secular element as well. In other words, they could sing Christmas carols. They could have the Hallelujah Chorus, right, some of the greatest music in Western history, as long as they sang Frosty the Snowman. And the same thing goes for nativity displays. As long as you have a couple reindeer and maybe Rudolph the Red-Nosed Litigator along with it, it's okay.
Okay, that's funny. So what do you make of the fact that the ACLU sent these letters out to the superintendents? Don't you think they were just trying to scare the living daylights out of them, like, oh, if we have a Christmas celebration, we're going to get sued?
Yeah, this is the devil's law firm, you have to remember. Normally, around the rest of the year, they're the Atheists and Criminals Law Unit, but this time of year, they're the Anti-Christmas Law Unit. And they specialize in threatening school districts, and hard-pressed school districts worried about funding are not going to get into heavy litigation, so they hope to scare them out of celebrating Christmas. They're wrong legally, they're wrong morally, they're out of step with the American people, 92% of whom celebrate Christmas, according to the most recent survey.
So now, Robert, I understand shortly after the superintendents in Tennessee got this note from the ACLU, Liberty Counsel based in Virginia sent them another note saying, let us set this straight.
Yeah, Liberty Counsel is a great organization out of Lynchburg, and they said, look, you don't have to be afraid of the Grinch ACLU because the law is on your side. Go ahead and celebrate Christmas. They haven't quite stamped it out yet. And the Alliance Defense Fund, another Christian legal group, has also sent letters to that effect around the country saying, don't be intimidated by the Grinch.
Sure, exactly right. You mentioned Rasmussen. Here's a Rasmussen poll. Would you prefer stores to show signs saying Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays? And look at that, 69% prefer Merry Christmas over Happy Holidays. That's not surprising. Now, Robert, before you go, I'm sure there are we've got a lot of teachers watching right now and a lot of educators and people who are involved in school programs that might be thinking about a Christmas program. What's your message to them about where they go from here?
Well, they should pick the best music possible, and it's some of the best music ever produced.
Sure.
But they really need to throw in a secular carol or two, or Frosty the Snowman or something
Jingle
to keep the ACLU. Yeah, Jingle Bells is fine, Silver Bells, keep them off their backs. But they shouldn't pretend that Christmas isn't the main holiday.
All right, very good. Robert Knight from the American Civil Rights Union, we thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Steve.